At the age of 30, Sam Bankman-Fried had it all what most people had dreamed of in life. He had established the world's second largest crypto exchange, FTX, which was valued at $32 billion, and Forbes had him in its billionaires list with an estimated fortune of $16 billion. But he lost it all in just a week.
Used to unravel, new details are emerging on how Sam Bankman-Fried's management style precipitated the company's collapse.
It was Sam Bankman-Fried who was trying to bring the crypto industry in the mainstream market, often spending millions of dollars in marketing blitz and lobbying for regulations with frequent presence in Washington. He was often compared to the Warren Buffet and J.P. for his millions of dollars of investment to save the struggling crypto firms. His flagship company FTX ran ads in Super Bowl and also bought a naming rights to Miami Heat Arena. Despite being a billionaire, he often presented himself in cargo shorts, FTX-themed t-shirts and drove around his Toyota. He also made headlines when he announced to donate almost all of his wealth as part of his involvement in effective altruism movement. But in less than a week, a single tweet brought down his billion-dollar empire, unraveling the facade built over the years as the crypto wunderkind. The sudden collapse of FTX has wiped out billions of dollars of customers and investors' money. The company filed for bankruptcy and became the target of investigations by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Justice Department. This is a story about the sudden fall of the FTX and its disgraced founder Sam Bankman-Fried, who was once considered as the champion of the crypto industry. SBF, as he was known among its peers, was born in the campus of Stanford University to parents who are both professors at Stanford Law School. Bankman-Fried remains a strong supporter of the effective altruism movement, which is an approach to philanthropy in which donors strategize to maximize the impact of giving. During his graduation years in MIT, Bankman-Fried met with Will MacAskill, a founder of the Center for Effective Altruism, and was intrigued by the MacAskill approach of earning to give, which is an approach for effective altruism where an individuals dedicate themselves in a high-earning career to give away majority of the earnings.
Effective altruism is a philosophy and a community that's about trying to figure out how can we do as much good as possible with the time and money we have.
After the graduation, Bankman-Fried worked in the trading firm Jane Street Capital. He left the trading firm in 2017 to start his own crypto trading company called Alameda Research. It was during that time he realized that the price of the Bitcoin in Japan was 10% higher than in the United States.
You did that beautifully. We never used to care about these price differences, but now that we've got a futures market, it's starting to attract some attention. It makes a lot of people crazy. The price difference among the Bitcoin exchanges can be pretty significant. So take a look. For example, this morning, Bitcoin was trading at notably different prices, even on the larger exchanges.
Bankman-Fried and his team wasted no time to reap the profits from the price difference, the practice known as the arbitrage trade. Alameda Research made millions by purchasing Bitcoin in the US and selling them at a higher price in Japan. To finance the operation of the Alameda Research, Bankman-Fried from the beginning relied heavily on the money borrowed from the investors who were promised higher risk-free return. The more money Alameda Research invested in the crypto arbitrage, the more profits followed for Bankman-Fried. However, the challenge for Bankman-Fried was the access to the readily available pool of money. And FTX was born out of that necessity. After moving Alameda Research from US to Hong Kong in 2018, SBF and his team started working on a new crypto exchange platform that would be later known as FTX. For SBF, the main motive to establish FTX was to generate enough revenue to fund the operations of Alameda Research. FTX basically made money by taking commission from every transactions being carried out by users. To increase the profit, SBF created its own exchange token FTT and rewarded users with huge trading discount. Attracted by the huge trading discount, FTX traders embraced the FTT. And as more traders started using FTT, its value skyrocketed in no time. In future, FTT would become the reason for the FTX downfall. In September 2021, FTX moved its headquarters from Hong Kong to Bahamas.
On crypto, I have to say I'm a little disappointed by your backdrop, because I thought because of that clampdown that you've moved your headquarters from Hong Kong to the Bahamas. Where's the beach?
Yeah, no, I mean, the Wi-Fi is actually not that great in the water, but no.
Riding on the success of the FTX, SBF established himself as one of the credible figures in the crypto industry. The credibility of the SBF and FTX were further bolstered by the millions of dollars of advertisements, sports sponsorships, and endorsements from the celebrities and athletes. FTX spent millions of dollars in Super Bowl ads. For $135 million, it signed a 19-year deal with Miami Heat Arena to name its stadium as FTX Arena. In short time, FTX was all over major sports including Formula 1, baseball, and esports. Top NBA star Stephen Curry appeared in one of the many videos encouraging people to invest in FTX. The endorsements also came from Tom Brady and Naomi Osaka. With its growing popularity, FTX raised around $2 billion from more than 80 investors including Sequoia Capital, BlackRock, and SoftBank. Binance, the world's biggest crypto exchange and a major competitor to FTX, also invested $100 million for a 20% stake. Hundreds of thousands of small investors poured their money in the FTX. Soon, it was processing billions of dollars per day and made Sam and his team super rich. Everybody viewed FTX as a safe haven for their lifetime savings. And why should not be? It was backed by Silicon Valley's top investors, and not to mention the endorsements from the celebrities and the athletes. Except for congressional hearings, SBF's appearance in cargo shorts with uncombed hair only added to its simplicity. But what we all were seeing of FTX and SBF were what they wanted us to see and no more. The details of the shady operations of Alameda Research and FTX would not come out until FTX filed for the bankruptcy. During the bankruptcy filings, John J. Ray III, current CEO of FTX handling its bankruptcy, stated that the company was controlled by the small group of inexperienced, unsophisticated, and potentially compromised individuals. He also added that in his 40 years of legal and restructuring experience, he had never seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here. In Bahamas, SBF and his team were living far more luxurious life, the opposite of what he was showing us in the media. He spent millions of dollars in real estate and personal items, often in the name of employees. Surprisingly, majority of those purchases were made using customers' funds from the FTX. SBF and his other 9 close confidants, including Caroline Ellison, CEO of Alameda Research, shared rooms in the penthouse, costing millions of dollars. The penthouse is now for sale at $40 million. Remember this name, Caroline Ellison, as she also bears as much responsibility as SBF for the downfall of FTX. Despite raising billions of dollars from investors, FTX never had outside investors in its board of directors, a rare possibility in any other industry. According to the New York Times report, he would rule out any inputs from outside investors, and those suggesting to replace Bankman-Fried with more experienced CEO would be shunned from future rounds of funding. Neither Bankman-Fried disclosed nor any investors deemed it necessary to know the conflicting relationship between FTX and its sister company Alameda Research. As it turns out, Alameda Research played a central role in the FTX collapse. As a crypto trading firm, Alameda Research made money by buying and selling the crypto in the crypto exchange. It traded heavily in the FTX, which many in the crypto industry viewed as the conflict of interest. Bankman-Fried was the founder and owner of both companies, and Alameda Research sometimes made money with the inside information received from the FTX. Caroline Ellison, a 28-year-old graduate, was at the helm of the Alameda Research during its downfall. Bankman-Fried met Ellison during his time at Jane Street Capital and at one point were romantically involved. The implosion of the FTX has attracted significant interest in the real life of Ellison, who suggested that she had explored polyamory. Polyamory is the practice of or desire for romantic relationships with more than one partner at the same time. An anonymous source for the CoinDesk article reported that all the 10 core members of Bankman-Fried's inner circle were paired off in relationship with one another. There were also allegations that to keep them awake, employees at FTX and Alameda used drugs like amphetamine. Ellison, in one of her tweets, wrote, "Nothing like regular amphetamine used to make you appreciate how dumb a lot of normal, non-medicated human experience is." Alameda Research controlled the majority of the FTT token created by the FTX. It traded heavily on the FTX using FTT tokens, which increased its value. Using the FTT token as collateral, Alameda Research borrowed billions of dollars from investors and other crypto firms. Some of the borrowed money were used to make risky bets in the FTX. Some were loaned to FTX employees, including Sam Bankman-Fried, who received $1 billion loan from Alameda. And it also invested several billions of dollars in crypto startups. FTX also took advantage of increasing value of FTT token. When Binance divested its stake in FTX, it paid Binance $2.1 billion, majority of which were in FTT tokens. It made sense for investors to hold those FTT tokens as long as they believed that the price of those tokens would go up in value. Alameda Research and FTX benefited from being the private companies. Unlike public companies, private companies are not required to disclose the financial health of the company to the public, and absence of any investors in the company's board of directors means SBF and his team were the only one to run the company show. FTX organized an invite-only crypto conference in Bahamas where he hosted Tony Blair and Bill Clinton in the dinner. Bankman-Fried and his team spent millions of dollars in the political campaigns of both the Democrats and the Republicans. Bankman-Fried donated around $40 million in 2022 midterm election supporting Democrats, and his FTX colleague Ryan Salame donated around $24 million to Republicans. Now we all know from where all those charitable funds were coming from. Bankman-Fried's empire started to crumble after the CoinDesk published an article about the balance sheet of Alameda Research. As of June 30, Alameda had around $14.6 billion in assets, and majority of those assets were held in FTT tokens, $3.66 billion of unlocked FTT, and $2.16 billion of FTT collateral. It had around $8 billion of liabilities, which was mostly dominated by $7.4 billion of loans. CoinDesk report exposed the vulnerability of the Alameda Research and FTX. As a sister company of the FTX, which introduced FTT, Alameda owned majority of issued FTT, and as the biggest trader of FTT, Alameda played a big role in determining its value. As per the balance sheet, Alameda was basically sitting on a pile of FTT, which had no real value and that it could be printed by the FTX on its will. Alameda secured billions of dollars of loans using those FTT as a collateral. According to Michael Safai, a founding partner at the Dexterity Capital, Alameda used printed money to access hard money. If the value of FTT declines, Alameda was in no way to repay its lenders on its own unless any other company comes to its rescue. And that is exactly what happened. The crypto market took a nosedive when a stablecoin Terra USD imploded. The economic uncertainty arising from Russia-Ukraine war and high inflation and interest rate also took the crypto industry by storm. Alameda Research also took a huge blow in its investment made from the borrowed money. As the price of cryptocurrency took a hit, crypto investors pulled back their investments. Alameda's lenders demanded their money back. With no enough cash at its disposal, Alameda struggled to pay back its lenders. That is when FTX intervened and rescued Alameda by siphoning around $10 billion of customers' money deposited in the FTX. FTX team was accused of using illegal software to hide the movement of money. An FTX employee told CoinDesk that Gary, Nisar and Sam control the code, the exchange matching engine and funds. If they moved them around or input their own numbers, I'm not sure who would notice. After the news of Alameda's troubled balance sheet became public, Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao aka CJ blew the final whistle in the FTX downfall. In November 6, CJ tweeted that he would liquidate all the FTT holdings. CJ's tweet wreaked havoc in the FTX. To regain the customers' confidence, Bankman-Fried tweeted that the industry competitor was going after the FTX, and despite the attempt, FTX and its assets are fine.
So FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried took to Twitter this morning to clear something up. He said that a competitor is trying to attack the company with rumors. He then says in the same tweet, FTX is fine, assets are fine.
Caroline Ellison also tweeted that the leaked balance sheet is the subset of their corporate entities and that Alameda had more than $10 billion in assets. Despite Bankman-Fried and Ellison's effort to restore confidence in the FTT, investors rushed to retrieve their money from the FTX. The size of the withdrawal request that FTX received following CZ's tweet was never heard of before in the FTX history. FTX customers withdrew around $6 billion in 72 hours. Unable to meet the massive withdrawal request, FTX halted all the withdrawals. As FTX customers flooded the market with FTT, it lost around 80% of its value in 24 hours. And guess who was hurt the most? Of course Alameda, as it had the largest holding of the FTT tokens. Until the collapse of FTX, Bankman-Fried spent millions of dollars to save struggling crypto firms. And now it was his time to seek help, not in millions but in billions, to save his dying exchange. Bankman-Fried reached out to CZ for the much needed lifeline. On Twitter, Binance announced that it had signed a non-binding agreement to purchase FTX after completing the due diligence. Binance's announcement gave a moment of respite to crypto community, but that also did not last long. Binance quickly reversed its tone and cancelled the deal, putting the FTX fates in limbo. In its statement, Binance revealed that the size of the damage was beyond its control. According to SBF's own statement, FTX needed more than $8 billion to meet the withdrawal request. Binance explained that the mishandled customer funds and ongoing investigations by the regulators made it difficult to pursue the deal, and that was the final blow to the FTX. FTX, Alameda Research, and approximately 130 other affiliated companies filed for the Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in the US.
Includes Bankman-Fried's quant trading firm Alameda Research and 134 affiliated companies all over the world. You've got places like Nigeria and Uganda, South Africa, to Europe, Hong Kong, and Switzerland. The estimated liabilities stand at between $10 billion to $50 billion.
This was the end of the FTX and SBF, who turned from crypto champion to villain in no time. Bankman-Fried wrote on Twitter that, "I'm really sorry that things ended up as they did and will do everything to make things right. But the damages were beyond SBF's control." Bankman-Fried, who once adorned the cover page of Forbes magazine, now has become the subject of criminal investigations with a long prison time. The collapse of the FTX is by far the biggest of its kind in the crypto industry. While it may take months or years to fully unravel its impact, few signs of damages to other crypto firms are already making news. In the aftermath of the FTX collapse, BlockFi, which was last valued at $4.8 billion, also filed for the bankruptcy. CNBC reported that the crypto market has lost more than $260 billion following the collapse of FTX. Bitcoin, the largest cryptocurrency by market cap, fell to its lowest level. The dramatic end of the FTX was further complicated by the unauthorized transfer of crypto assets from the FTX. In just 24 hours after the company filed for the bankruptcy, it announced that the hackers stole around $477 million of what was remained in it. In its bankruptcy filing, FTX revealed that it has more than 1 million creditors and owes as much as $3 billion to its top 50 creditors. Likewise, investors who believed in SBF vision and gave him around $2 billion to grow his empire wrote off their investment. Sequoia Capital, a top venture capital firm, lost $213 million in FTX investment. FTX failed the crypto industry, which was just recovering from the crash of Terra USD. FTX collapse should serve as a lesson to all who take crypto for granted. Investors, whether big or small, have learned hard lessons and will continue to think twice before investing in the cryptocurrency. Governments around the world will try to rein in the freewheeling of the crypto industry with strict regulations. After the bankruptcy, Sam appeared in many interviews and said that he did not try to commit fraud. However, he took responsibility for losing track of company's product and management failures that resulted in the collapse of the company. But the damage was already done, and the big question still remains: will those investors who put their life savings in the FTX will see their money again? As of the making of this video, Bankman-Fried was extradited from the Bahamas to the US to face criminal inquiry regarding wire fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. Carolyn Ellison, his one-time romantic partner and former CEO of Alameda Research, and Gary Wang, another co-founder of FTX, have also pleaded guilty to criminal charges and are helping investigators with their inquiries. In the end, Sam turns out to be the modern-day Bernie Madoff, who ran one of the world's largest Ponzi scheme in the history of financial industry. That's all for Sam and his wild ride in the crypto industry. I'll see you in the next one.